The following content is sponsored by korndolorous. We don't stop playing because we grow old because we stop playing. Welcome to the first episode of Augment, where we will be taking a look at the more, less useful augments, let's say. I will describe the augment, lay out its positives that the mod brings, then talk about why it's an overall negative mod, and possibly give suggestions on how to fix it. Today, let's take a look at Titanic Rumbler, an augment for Atlas that sacrifices some of the health and damage from one Rumbler to create a more bigger, powerful Rumbler instead. The mod will create a single, slightly larger Rumbler with 1,800 health, 1,688 explosion damage when killed or expired, 2,700 melee damage, and 675 boulder damage. Keep in mind that the abilities section of Atlas does not list the melee damage of Rumblers, which is 2,000 damage at base, only the boulders that they throw. This Titanic Rumbler also moves at 65% of whatever base speed they currently have. With low range, the Titanic Rumbler can be extremely slow as a result. First, let's look at the positives. When the Titanic Rumbler sees enemies, it will smash the ground, which temporarily increases its threat level by a small amount, making more enemies in the immediate area target itself. While enemies closer to the player will still keep attacking them and not the Rumbler, enemies will still become distracted if they are closer to the Rumbler itself. Now, let us look at the reasons for why this mod was chosen for this video. While on paper the increased stats look good, the stats can confuse some readers who don't look closely at the description. The 150% health and 135% damage, for example, it is actually plus 50% and plus 35% respectively, with the 100% just meaning base, similar to how the Warframe UI shows each stat as 100% unmodded. This means that two Rumblers unmodded and without the augment have more combined health, more combined damage, and run faster than a Titanic Rumbler. Even worse, while a single normal Rumbler has a lesser threat level than the Titanic Rumbler does, the combined distraction of two Rumblers pretty much equals the distraction power of a single Titanic Rumbler. Both of these facts combine to create a slower and less powerful Rumbler which distracts enemies at the same amount at the cost of a mod slot. But I'm sure you're asking, how should the mod be fixed? I have two suggestions to fix this mod, and one involves the Conclave mod for Atlas, Rumbled. Rumbled allows Atlas to become a Rumbler, gaining a coat of rock armor that absorbs 500 damage. My suggestion is to change Titanic Rumbler to do the same, but provide 4,000 damage absorption at base, mostly due to the 100 energy cost compared to something like Iron Skin, and restrict Atlas to only be able to use his now rock-hard fists, dealing 3,000 base impact damage at base, 1,000 more than Rumblers individually. At any time, Atlas can cast Titanic Rumblers again, which will cause the remaining rock armor on Atlas to spawn a giant boulder and tumble forward, causing the remaining health of the armor to strike enemies as impact damage. This would increase the survivability of Atlas a ton, but without making him too overpowered. My second suggestion is to allow Titanic Rumbler to mimic the abilities of his supposed guardians of his tomb, the aptly named Tomb Guardians. When they are killed, Tomb Guardians split into two smaller versions of themselves up to 3 times. With the new Titanic Rumbler mod, you will start out with one Rumbler with the same stats listed on the mod. When casting Rumblers again, or if the Rumbler is killed, it will explode and deal 500 impact damage within 5 meters of itself, and spawn 2 smaller Rumblers with 90% health, 80% damage, and 105% speed, unaffected by mods. This will continue another 2 times, eventually creating tiny Rumblers with only 1,312 health, 1,382 melee damage, but move at 75% of the normal speed of a Rumbler. While the overall combined health of the Rumblers will be pretty much the same, this will allow them to last a little longer and distract more and more enemies as they are killed. Keep in mind that the duration timer is still unaffected, and if the duration timer runs out, they will all die and not split up further. This has been Augment. Stay tuned to the next episode where we will take a look at yet another augment mod.